What's up, guys, and welcome back to Book of Entertainment. There was something very, very dramatic that occurred at the Senzomeyiwa trial. So, the witness, Brigadier Ndlovu, was testifying, but Brigadier Ndlovu is the state witness. He was brought by Advocate Baloyi to give his testimony. So, when he was giving his testimony, he was explaining, in vague and subjective descriptions, of the individuals in the photos. And he was using, terms like O-shaped, C-shaped, to describe, facial hair, the bluish and the black, to describe clothing colors, So what you can see is that there was a lack of specificity, which is obviously a significant weakness when you are describing something. You don't describe, in such vague terms, especially if you're trying to clarify something. So those gestures, they cannot be captured in a transcript, because you do know that courts, they do work with these transcripts that they refer to and say, on this day you said this and that. But this guy now, with these vague descriptions, my goodness, completely something else. So now this then led, to Judge Rata to instruct, Brigadier Ndlovu, the witness, to describe, what he is pointing at for the record, because that was like a procedural failure by the witness to properly document the evidence. Because the reliance on pointing rather than clear verbal descriptions, it suggests a witness who is not prepared to provide a detailed and objective account of the evidence. It's an argument that somebody can bring to the table. So, because when you describe like that, someone can come in and say, you know what, your descriptions are inconsistent with each other, because Brigadier Ndlovu, was pointing out a beard on the right side, on the right hand side, in one photo, but then claim, a different person does not have the beard that goes downwards on his sides in another. So this ambiguity, it makes it difficult to definitely link the photos to specific individuals, which is a crucial task, for the prosecution. I think, Advocate Baloyi should have guided, Brigadier Ndlovu towards a more concrete and factual descriptions, instead of allowing the subjective and times, contradictory testimony to the stand, because it exposes a lack of rigor in the state's examination of its own witness. But however, I don't think it's Brigadier Ndlovu is at fault at times, because when you are given a huge task to describe something like the beard, the color, you're obviously going to use, those vague descriptions. It's always going to be like that, and having those vague descriptions. So that is what happened with Brigadier Ndlovu. It's something that just occurs naturally, even though it then gives, the defense to use those inconsistencies to argue that the witness descriptions are not reliable, and therefore the photos cannot be used to identify the accused beyond a reasonable doubt. It's something subjective when it comes to argument's sake. I'll catch you guys on the next one.